If I were on my toaster, I'd be last for sure. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to round number 3 of our 6th Newcomers Tournament. We have Space Hippie, X9 Breaker, Shalepic Gaming, and Destructoid. I am Blues, here with DT.
Don't talk, chat, please. I'm joking, you can do that.
Anyway, we have a bunch of high prices again. Silicon in particular, all in this northwest corner.
Is this the overpowered map that Pelion talked about? I mean, I see only one spot in that scientific in the northeast, and nothing else. Yeah, robotic, but where
Wait, what?
do you get your water?
Oh, that's scientific. It's like, what is in the northeast? I see nothing but dry ice and aluminum.
I mean, what else can you find? There's no water near.
You can found robotic.
Yeah,
I
and
guess.
then have no water.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, but you can survive.
Please, dry ice. Oh, dry ice scavenger, thank God.
Well, Shalepic Gaming is a bit more experienced, so maybe he could make it work? Probably not. Oxygen does start high, so it's nice, but carbon is still going to be a huge problem. X9 going for this standard robot, it's going to be okay. Space Hippie going elite. Okay.
A scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
Picking up the water is probably a nice move. The silicon is going to make nice money early. I'm worried about steel. Space Hippie should really just grab some iron.
What he should do is just
reactors.
go 3 silicon and then swap those 2 silicon into food later. And maybe he will survive.
But yes, reactor is definitely not the right choice.
And not
the black market is online.
Reactor is not the right choice because, well, it makes less money than food already. It costs more to put down than food. It costs more power than food. It costs steel in particular. A lot of extra steel, and steel is what you need to upgrade. So it's just a lot of factors working together to just make that a bit slower. Space Hippie does get to HQ2 without too many problems, but still really needs to move into this iron and steel.
This is like the 5th time I see someone go 2 steel and 1 aluminum. I see.
Yes, that is a problem. Especially as a robot, you don't need to grab that aluminum right away. Meanwhile, iron was a problem all game. Iron started at 40, steel started at 60, so there wasn't all that much money to be made on steel without producing iron. Just producing lots of iron would be more profitable. Could have gone double iron, 1 steel, would have been better.
As an extra claim, you can use that. He can also upgrade. I'm not sure why he's not doing that. It's like losing money because of steel now.
Shalepic Gaming managed to steal a lot of the water from Destructoid. That is definitely a mistake from Destructoid, because I'm pretty sure he had the chance to just grab this line of water. As a scientist, you maybe lose some potential adjacency doing that or something, but that makes sure that no one really wants to intrude on your stuff. You take the high medium, there's nothing left to take for them. They might as well take something else. That's lower risk.
He wants to go drilling anyway. But he should have gone for the high water and not for the 2
absolutely should not have taken that low instead of the high. Anyway, Shalepic Gaming is now in a much better spot, though carbon will always remain a problem. This geotherm really does not work well with the idea of carbon being a massive problem for him. But power is going to be important, it's rising.
A new claim is available for
I would go for solar panels just because carbon is a problem.
Yes, absolutely solar panels. Normally you don't like solar panels ever because they're just not great, but if you don't
just pray that the solar flare is coming through.
Solar flare would be great for the solar condensers too. But at this point, Shalepic Gaming doing this might actually work out pretty well. He has pretty low power consumption because he's a scavenger, he's in condensers, he's in food, nothing that consumes a lot of power. And more importantly, his opponents are just stalling out. Destructoid is doing decently. He's going to get a lot of money off of food.
He needs to watch out for his steps because he's already in B-taps and assault.
Right.
So he needs to get
I'm okay with the 24k claim auction.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but he needs to watch out.
Definitely. I don't know that I would have gone for Geo with that extra claim.
Oh, it's fine.
It is fine. I mean, he is making enough money to get that up without too much problems.
But he needs to go net.
He has a goon ready, so he should just drop it. Excuse me.
The black market is open
I
for
would be looking
business.
at a patent lab at this point for him. Something like slant would be excellent.
Okay, yeah, he's now HQ level 3.
He has
I would also
solid.
go. Yeah.
Right, he has a solid moneymakers in food and steel, so he can pretty easily afford to get a patent lab up and running.
I would also go into 2 solar panels. I was thinking about going solar condenser, but then you will help the scavenger a little bit. You don't want to help him. If you really want to be mean, is you wait when day hits and then you just power search the scavenger the solar
Right,
condenser,
that's
and then he's out of the game.
Yeah, that's always a big downside to these day-night cycle based buildings. You just drop a power surge at the right time, and suddenly it's a whole soul where you have no production.
What is Space Hippie doing?
Yeah, the reactor on HQ1 always
Scavenger
caused
HQ
problems.
has been upgraded.
This single glass kiln also just doesn't help. You need to have adjacency bonuses for your buildings. The other problem is Space Hippie reached out this far for the iron. That's been slow to get online, slow to ship in. Well, not slow to ship in once it's online, it ships at the same speed as anything else. But it's just not enough iron. It would be much better off just grabbing a pair of iron closer. Because steel and iron were just clearly problems. X9 could have taken a lot of advantage of that, but instead moved into 2 geos. It's good for the power price, but it's just a bit slow. And this water doesn't play well with that play. He's not doing much with the water, and it's just a lot of cost to ship it in. I'm okay with claiming it, I would have turned it off though.
Okay, that was what I was going to say. You might want to secure it, but I wouldn't go for that one because you're never going to get
Slant?
pen lap up and go for slant drilling because the scientific bill. So
Right, the scientists should just absolutely beat you to slant every time, so this isn't great.
Oh, that's fine.
Destructoid never actually put down that goon. Well, I mean he did. He put it on a lone chem lab instead of his geotherm. I don't know. And lone solar panel here.
Has been upgraded.
This is unnecessary. The chems weren't going to be great, just ever, even with adjacency. I mean, you do get the free carbon from the dry ice, but they're not producing any fuel, and there isn't all that much chem demand yet. I guess we are approaching the point of the game where chems will be rising. Hey, it's a solar flare.
He's a lucky bastard.
Solar
flares almost never happen in my game.
Yeah, it's always dust storms.
I love dust storms.
Let's get our
If I look at destruct, I see single tiles.
The black market is
Yeah,
online.
those 2 single tiles are just real problems.
He needs to go in slant. Is he not researching?
Well, I think...
why teleportation? You need slant.
Right.
You have everything next to your base except silicon.
Silicon is the only thing. Silicon's not that important in this game. You already have this elite doing lots of silicon stuff. And...
It's not a glass colony.
And
it's 0.6, but that's nothing. Ooh,
It's interesting that Chill Epic Gaming went for a second geotherm, now he upgraded, now carbon is $172, and so Destructoid doing a very nice job freezing out these solar flare condensers. Oh god. Chill Epic Gaming, why are you going into electronics?
Go into more carbon,
Yes, just build a billion solar condensers. This is going to be awful.
I must say, if he goes into solar condensers now, he can just buy the scientific.
Right, he should be able to make enough money to majority buy a lot well, the scientific in particular, probably the not the elite. The elite can defend himself.
How much he's losing on that electronics.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. This whole game, there's been a major problem with Shell Epic Gaming, being that he never really did anything to fix his carbon problem. He's been able to upgrade and make a lot of money successfully, but he just never took control of carbon, and that's going to be a problem always when you're a dry ice scav.
He's making power money, that's something.
I mean, he's making very little power money because he's running on 2 geos.
600 is a lot in my book.
Okay, I mean, it's a fair amount, but I'm saying it's not like he's flooding the power markets. There are ways he could have done that that would have been more effective.
And he needs to go into an optimization center and start upgrading that carbon.
New land is
X9 Breaker doing things.
Things you don't like?
2 geos and then remote pair of chems next to that, remote pair of reactors next to the other geo. Again, remote buildings just aren't going to work very well for you.
I mean, as a robotic, I don't mind it, but I don't like how he has an extra geos.
I mean, in particular, he's making power money. Power is almost $300. This means a lot of extra power cost to your shipping and stuff.
I mean,
and it's also just so slow to transition. You're never going to get teleportation because Destructoid has it.
Look at how much depth Space CP is in.
Yeah.
+6.
I mean, Elite was always going to be difficult to play, and beyond that, Space Hippie never got power really done. Got a geo up, which is a mistake when Space Hippie was collecting all the silicon all game. Pretty easily could have gone into a lot of solar panels, made a play off of that. Instead, just really falling behind, building all these, the single reactor, the single glass.
The black market is open for business.
Shipping in the steel from so far, iron from so far. This single water.
This is not
Elite HQ has been upgraded.
for sure.
What is this patent lab doing? Carbon scrubbing.
Ooh, the scientific is also in D+1 depth. But he's going into a lot of power now. Okay, Shell Epic Gaming. What you do now is just buy that power surge and
3K!
just buy it and do it.
Definitely grab the spy first, because this is important. And it costs nothing. Unfortunately, that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Destructoid has not been using this patent lab after picking up teleportation. Superconductor would have been amazing. It's going now.
Yeah, it would still be in time.
I don't know about financial instruments, though. It's great for Space Hippie, but Space Hippie should not be around much longer.
Ooh, that's a bit late. Why are you attacking Time Breaker? He's not going to be the longer threat.
Right, this is absolutely a mistake. Shell Epic Gaming isn't making enough money to finish off X9 Breaker, and besides that, Destructoid, as you were hinting at, is the person you want to be killing.
No, I would be
well,
killing
Space
the
Hippie,
elites.
because
yeah.
Space Hippie's so cheap, but I mean, in terms of who's going to be a threat, yes, it's going to be Destructoid.
After that, you play, yeah.
X9 Breaker...
Ooh, wait. I want to see how much money he's getting from that natural instrument. It's almost nice. You can go talk. I just wanted to point out it's going to happen. Okay, that's a mistake.
Nighttime freeze?
Yeah, that's way too late.
D+10. Oh man, that financial instruments did come in time. That is a
20K.
huge tick.
Yeah, 20K from that.
Someone needs to be buying up Space Hippie now. You don't get this big a stock price boost
Just
for this
shift
cheap.
Shift click.
Yes, Destructoid can more or less.
Everyone can.
Yes,
That's how low
actually,
it is.
yes.
I'm sorry, Space Hippie, but yeah.
It was an interesting idea. I think Elite here could have worked pretty well, but you needed to grab that extra iron early and work off faster upgrades.
Problem is, there's no high iron. You really need that high iron. So otherwise you need to spend 2 claims on iron, and that's not something you can afford.
And it's never ideal.
Oh, please. I think they're... Oh, shall I be getting...
How did Slant last this long? What is...
Wow.
What is X9 even using Slant for? I mean...
I don't know.
Just iron.
A new claim is available.
I have no idea who was going to win this.
This has been a very weird one.
Was...
It should be Destructoid once Destructoid by Space Hippie.
I mean, I'm just hoping... Oh no, he's going for Offworlds. Are you really going for Offworlds, Shell Epic Gaming? Oh, Destruct is also going for Offworlds. Look at how much stock you could have been... get from that.
On the bright side, food launchers are really good.
The black market is online.
Yeah, that's not worth it. Look, the latest level 5 already.
Yes, anytime anyone gets this cheap, you need to buy them. Because once you buy them, their debt gets reset. So then this base price of their stock like jumps up to something like $25 for an HQ5.
$5.
So you're gaining like $20 of stock price by buying them. Well, $25 of stock price by buying them. And it costs you 100k, less than 100k.
This is going to be the comeback from Space Hippie.
It would be impressive, but I don't know how you come back from 400k debt.
That disconnects.
If Space Hippie...
everyone.
Space Hippie does... Okay, he's moving into the optimization center. I was wondering where that... No, he has 2 optimization centers now. What? Oh, he's building a second one as well. Well, maybe it's a comeback. As an elite, you definitely need to make a lot of use of your optimization center bonus. You get faster optimizations, you get that extra claim when you perfect it. And that is a large part of your strength as a faction.
Come on, just buy him. Just press shifts.
He's $1 now.
Optimization center is ready.
I mean, everyone should have a button flashing in their face.
But no, it's not, because they need to press shifts.
Oh yeah,
I just want to tell them press shifts, but I cannot do that.
Yes, don't do that. Oh, Space Hippie.
No, oh, everyone else.
Yes. Because whoever...
Yeah, buy him. Oh, now everyone sees the buy button. Now everyone sees it because he put it.
Come on. Okay, Shell Epic. Okay. This is gonna save you from X9 Breaker. This should win you the game. Just buy it. Just shift click.
Shift click. I mean, yes, so.
Yeah, he does. And X9, I don't know where X9 is getting the money from. A lot of it's from carbon. He's burning money in steel.
Congratulations.
And not really making much money anywhere else. Just water. Up. Destructoid's jumping in.
No. Yes! Yes! You did it!
Okay, Shell Epic Gaming has earned this one. I mean, X9 Breaker is still closer to the buy than Shell Epic is.
No. Look, the Offworld money is now coming in, plus he's going to make a lot of money. He's not going to lose.
He probably won't lose, but you know, you gotta say there's a chance. Yeah, Space
Well, but he should sell his carbon, because he's now just giving money to Nineberg.
Absolutely.
Oh, Nineberg is going into Offworld now. Okay, yeah, that seals the deal.
Yep. Shell Epic Gaming has also sold down the carbon. I was worried for a moment that storing up that much carbon meant he was going for a second Offworld, but he's fixed that problem. Space Hippie not making a ton of money, but enough to do something.
We're not surprised, just disappointed.
I didn't expect an try ice scavenger to
The black market is open for business.
I mean, the dry ice scavenger. What was the dry ice scavenger making all the money off of? Power was a part of it. The Pleasure Dome was helpful.
It's because no one went into carbon themselves. So whenever he upgrades, he can sell the carbon again, and then he gets a lot of cash because of that.
I mean, Destructoid made like 56k off of Carbon, X9 made 58k. I mean, not early on, eventually.
I mean, yeah, eventually.
But yeah, there were definite opportunities to do stuff to help there, and Shell Epic Gaming didn't really make the necessary plays to protect himself from that. But he didn't get punished, so sometimes things just work out.
Also, I need to say that Network Virus 3k and everyone should use that to pop that gun from Shell Epic Gaming on the Offworld.
Right, and there's also no excuse for these mutinies to be bouncing and such. There are spies at 4.5k. I mean, and I don't mean no excuse, but you shouldn't be doing that when spies are this cheap.
And I thought I saw someone selling a Geo.
To the highest bidder.
Yeah, Geo. Why are you selling a Geo? The price was $100. It's like...
Yeah, that's something I see a lot from newer players. Just a lot of focused attacks with mutinies and dynamites on single buildings that aren't all that effective.
Yes, good. Yes, they bought it. All of you.
Point is, when it's a choice between freezing out a lot of buildings or dealing with one building, you usually want a lot of buildings. Off-worlds are exceptions. Pleasure domes can be exceptions.
I mean, any advanced building is an exception. Yeah. Maybe not pushy down, but if power is really cheap, I mean, late game $100, it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to make.
Anyway, Shell Epic Gaming should have this easily. Destructoid never really took off the way we were hoping / expecting he would. Part of that is never picking up slant, which prevented him from really growing.
And he's just going into optimizations. That's
yeah, this is way too late for optimizations. I mean, it's way too late for anything, honestly, but especially way too late for optimizations.
Launch affirmative. What a payout.
Why does he have one wind turbine and one solar panel that doesn't compute adjacency bonus?
We caught a dirty rat trying to break our stuff.
Blue, stop typing, focus on the game.
I wasn't typing.
Oh, I heard you typing.
Okay,
moving on.
Yep.
Does Shell Epic Gaming have silicon? I don't think so. Yeah, those electronics are a mistake. He's gaining plus $0, $2.
Yeah, that's something you always need to be careful about. The electronics price might be high, but your output of electronics is so low that it's usually a fake price. Well, misleading if you're just looking at the number.
I mean, if you just go to the build, how do you call it? That
yes,
building thing,
the build menu,
just
you can see the
X.
net revenue. Hold X. X is a very useful hotkey.
X.
Z is also a very useful hotkey. Lets you see your resources under your buildings. I normally use it as a nervous habit when I'm trying to think. Anyway, this game is over. Let's check out Black Market quickly. 8 attacks from Shell Epic Gaming onto Destructoid, 6 from Destructoid onto Shell Epic. Yeah.
He did it.
The attacks more or less make sense across the board.
There's a time tiebreaker. Buy him. Oh, you think GG.
Also worth pointing out, I don't think have we seen a dust storm yet today? This is like the 4th solar flare we've seen.
I saw one, I think. Yeah. I saw one. Or was the last game? I think that was last game. No, I didn't see it. I don't know.
The Destructoid did not go for thinking machines either. That was also problematic. It could have been useful, because he did get his off-world mutinied a bunch. Water would have been nice. Honestly, if Destructoid had managed to grab this high water early, that would have made such a huge difference in the game. And he absolutely should have. But that sort of thing happens